Hello. Can you see me well? Why am I so pale? I know, I'm like, I have no makeup on, but I did, like, I have a bit of, you know, but I don't know if it's like the camera or what, because I don't look like this. I have color in my face. I don't know what is going on with the camera. I do have colors, but why do I look so? Maybe it's because this is yellow, this is a bit on the beige side, but why do I look so yellowish? Let me know, guys, if I'm lagging because I'm with the other phone, because the one that has like the data was lagging, like it wasn't like it didn't let me go live. It will get like frozen the screen. So this is why I'm using the other one. Let's see how it goes, because in here I don't have data. I'm only using the Wi-Fi. So yeah, maybe yes. But I do have color. I do have it. I do have it. It's just that I don't know. I think that is this, I guess. Is the setup. But I don't look like this. Like I saw myself in the mirror. Like I know I'm not wearing like fully makeup, but I'm like, I don't even look like that. Like what is going on? Maybe it's the hair of my hair color that it's more like it's warmer now. So this is why I look um thank you. Hey Laura. Yeah, I just shared on Discord a picture of me and my dad and my godson. Um, it went very well. We had a good time, thank God. It was really hot because it was celebrated like around noon. Um, it started at 1 p.m. Um, so yeah, children were, for me, it's all for them. It's all, of course, there was a lot of family members, a lot of people. Um, but for me it's for the children. I'm like, I go and I'm there and I'm, uh, to celebrate with him, but he just turned 6. So for him it's all about his little friends, and playing and just running around, with them. And so I'm happy that you know that he had a good time, that he got his cake. I always I try for his birthday, ever since he turned 1. uh, I always like gifted him the cake with whatever design he wants of, the he had a phase where everything was a Spider-Man. Until last year, it was all the Spider-Man, like the cake style. And now he changed this year, finally. But yeah, I always give him the personalized cake, I would say, for him. Yeah. So Yes, thank you, Lecturas. Thank you for the thank you to everyone for the best wishes. Yeah, I had a lot of like it was a busy week because I had to work. I also had to finish. I had to do some dynamics with the teenagers that I work with at school. That we are almost like at the end of the year, and they were also celebrating, Halloween. Now that in I don't know about other countries in Latin America, but Halloween is not that celebrated. Like I know about Halloween because I've always been a fan of American shows and everything. So I know that Halloween is a thing um, on maybe on other parts of the world, and the children do celebrate it, and they get their disguise, their costumes, and they go trick or treat. In here, I believe after the pandemic, it became like more like a lot of people I see doing. Not everyone, but I see some neighborhoods or some places that they do it. um at some schools they also do it. It's just that the school that I work at, it's Catholic, so I think that they about dressing up as demons and and creepy things. They don't allow that. So yeah, but the children were very excited, and they wanted to show me their outfits, and they wanted to show me what they did. So I did spend like longer hours hanging out with them. And it has been very busy last week. I tried to make it for the live stream, but I couldn't. I tried. I swear, until the last half hour I was like, oh, maybe I can make it, maybe. And then I was like, no, I can't, because then I had to help like cook certain ingredients for the food for the birthday party. So everything was chaotic. That I always try to make it. Usually when I start my week, I know that I have to do the community post, for you guys, so you can leave the recommendations, because you guys also help me build the content, because you leave the recommendations. This is why I always try to make it like in a very reasonable time, so I give everyone a chance to leave their recommendations or their comment. Um, but yeah, it was impossible. Oh, I had to take chemistry exam on the day of Halloween, as it's exam season for me. So I'm studying. Yes, a lot of people also are with that. Um, my cousin, that is like my godson's mother. She also was with finals. She is with finals. She had some exams also. Um, so she was also freaking out. This is why I was, helping out, because, we had to take the food, the decoration, we had to take it a day before to this person's house. That is a relative of theirs, but it's not the same when you do it, at home, or when you do it at a place where they take care of those things. When someone, like, it's like, okay, you can do it here, but then you have to help with, decoration, and also cooking, and possibly cleaning as well. Even though they say, no, we have everything ready, you always have to be there to help, in whatever they need. Um, but yeah, I mean, I tried to help. Like, I didn't have much time, um, but I tried to be there. I tried. I try to collaborate as much as I can. So how are you guys? How are you? For me, it has been a weird week about K-pop, because I found out that um, that not my bias, but I would say one of my bias record. I would say, like, I don't know. The other day I was I saw a TikTok of a girl, and I was like, I resonate very much with what she says, because she's like, I'm not even an NCT fan, but I have like a soft spot for this member, and if I see this member, like whatever happens to him, I feel like, oh, whether it's good or bad, I feel like, I have a sort of like, like, oh, I want him to do well. And I think that that's what happens to me with Jungkook. I am an citizen. I am a fan of NCT, but Jungkook is not my bias. But I think his progress. I seen more of him, especially because he had been like sort of like hanging out more with my bias. So since he is, somehow, where my bias is, he is, or where there's something Utah related, Jungkook is in there. So I started to appreciate him, and also, be reminded of how, you know, how talented he is, and how much, he contributes to the group, especially, after certain members were enlisting. Um, and so hearing about, I knew about Doyon. I knew that Doyon. I was like, Doyon, you have to go already. Like, I was like, you should have gone already. Like, I don't know why they were dragging so much with Doyon. I understand that his voice is very important for NCT 127, because he has these very important parts in the song. Um, but yeah, he was super busy. He was doing a lot, for himself and for the group. But I was like, I'm kind of like ready for Doyon to go. Like, go, Doyon. You worked a lot this year. We seen you. You done a lot. You done great. It's time for you to go. Because yeah, he for me, he should have gone already. But well, um, um there must be a strategy also in this, because somehow he's also a kind of a leader of NCT 127. So not just NCT 127, but he's like someone like a reference, a person that okay, the leader is not here, you look at them. um but about Jungkook listing, the last thing we heard about Doyon, Jungkook was his solo debut. We were like, whoa, a solo. And then I went back, because I didn't even remember what I said when I read for Jungkook's solo. I did a reading for him a couple months ago, and to my surprise, because I don't remember what I said in this reading, to my surprise, when I went back to that reading, without even looking at the cards, like, I think I was looking at the cards, but I was like, I wasn't even starting to to um, interpret it as a whole. The first thing that I saw, the first thing that I said or expressed was, is Jungkook listing soon? I was asking to whoever is watching me. I was asking to the camera, and I usually, when I do this, is because my intuition probably is kicking in, and I'm like, it has nothing to do with the cards. Probably it's just a feeling that I get, and this is why I'm somehow trying to. I talk to the camera, because it's like a way I'm reflecting on it. It's something that I have to say. I have to share it, and 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 yeah, I did that, and now we have it. Now we have the confirmation. Didn't expect this at all. Didn't remember that I mentioned it on the reading that I did for Jungkook. Um, but yes, it's the same. So Oh, I'm honest to Miss Doyon. He's my bias. but if he leaves early, he can come back earlier too. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think that it's not like you know, like you are being disrespectful and like you are like, oh yeah, you should go already. No, it's not that. It's like it's a coping mechanism. You know, it's like the earlier you go, the sooner you can come back. You know, this is why I'm like, you know, even Jeongyeon went very early, like not very early, but I think that what he did was, you know, I think that for me it was a really good decision. That I don't know if it was up to him, but I think that he done his part. He was like, okay, you know, I had my solo, I had my individual activities. Now I'm going, and and I think that this is what, you know, especially since I am an NCT 1 to 7, like, you know, they are my group out of all the NCT. I love all of them, but NCT 1 to 7 is like my favorite group. I know it's going to take a while for us to see them all together. I think that it's going to take a lot of years. I don't know, probably 2027, 2029, even if we count Hechan. So I don't know when Hechan is, but Hechan should go also to have a break. Hechan should go to the military also already. I know he's young, but he has done so much. Like that man, I'm not saying that the military is like, you know, is like a walk in the park. Of course not. But I'm like, maybe, you know, to rest a bit his voice. Um, I think that if he would go to the military with another, you know, 1 to 7 member, I think that it would be better than if he waits for the dreamies, if he waits for the NCT Dream members. Because for me, Hechan is like, yeah, he is a dreamy, but at the same time, he's like also part of NCT 1 to 7. So I wouldn't, you know, and I think he needs to rest also. um, it's okay, BTS comeback is soon. I think they said March. Ah, so we can still be entertained. Oh, yes. Yeah, I think that they said yes. Yes. Yeah, I think that, yeah, definitely, you know, when it comes to, it's not that, you know, because my favorite group is not together, that we will not have entertainment. Yeah, I know, and also for me, since I'm a multi-stam, for me personally, it's a great opportunity to check out their solo work, what they're going to do individually, and also other groups, to get to know the younger generation, the other groups, you know, to see what they have available, what the girl groups have available also, because the girl groups, you know, all the time, mostly, you know, I mean, I started to be fan of, when I started in K-pop, mostly boy groups, but the girl groups, yeah, are so hardworking, and they have a lot. They have a lot of talent. So, you know, maybe to appreciate them more and give them more support, for me, it would be nice. Like, I think that it would be like an opportunity to, um, you know, it's like you remove your, somehow, your attention and your gaze into, oh, these are my favorites, and you start seeing like the potential in others, and you have fun. I have fun getting to know groups. This is why, um you know, I one of the things that I learned with, you know, reading um for groups, for different groups, and artists in general, is to get to know them better, because sometimes I don't know, the groups are new, the artists are new, and it gives me a chance to check out their work. So I think that I'm also expanding in that. So it's, for me, it's much more than, um, you know, just reading for what is trending, you know. Mm, yeah, they're cute. Yes. Yeah, they do get judged harshly. Yes, they do get judged harshly. It's just that I know there's like fanboys, but the fanboys also get somehow discriminated because, oh, what is a man doing in here? You know, um, and so and mostly the fandom, there's a lot of women, so I think that I noticed that there's a lot of jealousy. And like, when a woman, especially, I notice this, and I'm like, from women of my age and even older, I notice that there's a pattern. Every time I mention some girl member of a girl group that somehow did well in something, um and it's like they instantly get on the defensive. It's like, oh yeah, I think that they did well, but I didn't like the song. Oh, they had an appearance on this, I don't know, this event. Oh yeah, but I didn't like what they were wearing. So it's like, yeah, you don't like girl groups. You don't like them. Like I can feel it. I can feel it because when it comes to their favorites, they love everything. Every little detail that their favorites do is like, he's a godsend. And probably you look at them sometimes what they're wearing or their choices, and you're like, really? You think that that's beautiful? That that's art? But when a member of a girl group, does something that you're like, oh, she was so cool in this. Oh yeah, but I wish she had chosen this. I didn't like the style. I didn't. And I'm like, it's not a coincidence. You just don't like women. You just don't like women. Because I'm very supportive of the girls because like I feel, I don't know if it's because I connect for all the times that I have been reading for them, um, for different female artists, that I connect with them from somehow the reading for them, it leaves a memory in me, an energetic memory of how tough it must be for them, to remain in a business that is so controlled by men. So um so I feel so empathic towards them, even if I'm not a fan of a certain group, but I'm like, this the girl is working. Let her work, let her have her moment. We as women, we know how tough it is. And we don't even have to meet the standards that they have to meet. So, if we don't know that, if we haven't gone through that, you cannot criticize, because it's what they do, their work, their discipline. Wow. Hey, Fluffy. Yeah, probably it's projection. I think that is projection, about like, is I noticed this about certain mom boys, like, mothers of boys, that if they had been if they had children that are boys, they usually have like a preference, and at the same time you're like, okay, it makes sense because this is what you have sons, you don't have daughters, so it makes sense that but at some point you were a girl yourself. You are a woman, so you as a woman, if you cannot go back to your own essence and somehow see a little girl, see a young woman, seeing another woman of your age or older trying to make it or trying to create something, and you don't congratulate that. I'm like, how can you not see that? How can you not that like you are not a man. You are the mother of a boy, but you are not a boy yourself. You're not a father. So yeah, I saw Cat's Eye on my TV last night. Speaking of girl groups, maybe they don't like themselves. Yeah, probably they don't like themselves. Yes, they somehow they are like, oh no, yeah, I'm not like like typical. I'm not like the other girls. I'm not. Girls. Oh, girls are difficult. Women are difficult. No, we are complex. We are not difficult. We are complex. Life makes things difficult for us, but we are not complex. We are not difficult. Yeah, why are you hating on our own gender? Yes. It's so obvious when a woman is speaking from jealousy too. Yes. Yeah, you can feel it. You can feel it. You can feel it. And if they don't say something, it's the way they look at you. So yeah. Hmm. Yeah, we women, I understand that we have different experiences, especially women that are like had always been like boy crazy or had always been like looking for the approval of the men in their lives. They're always like centering men. They're always like looking at um oh, my boyfriend needs this of me. Oh, like, and I don't know how I think that it must be, yeah, a father wound, because for me in particular, I'm really close to my dad. Actually, my dad is my only family that I have left. He is my only parent because my mom passed away. But, I think that the relationship that I have with him, or that I always had with him, it it makes me actually like, yeah, respect men, but at the same time understand that, I will not let a man enter in my life and destroy it or just give me a bad time, because I know that, I should be treated better, or I should be treated with respect. And I also should be a respectful partner as well. This is why, I'm always like working on myself as well, because I do have a certain character. So, but with time, I learned that, relationships are 50-50 always. But I think that I have zero tolerance to be following a man around. Like, no, like, why? Why would I be following them? I don't care if you like me or not, or if you think I'm pretty or not, or if you think that I'm older, like, oh, you're old, or oh, you are this, or yeah, I am what I am. And if you don't like it, great. Thank you. Thank you. Like, I can have, conversations with a lot of men, and just not be thinking like, how do I do for them to like me? No, no, no. I talk to them one on one. I mean, no, but I never like lower my intelligence or my way of being just to impress them. No, no, not at all. Not at all. No, I don't think that they are that special. Actually, I think that they are just common. So yeah. Mm. Funny, I also noticed women who have issues with other women and jealousy, especially, tend to have big mommy issues too. Yeah, probably. Yes, that could also be. Yeah. Yeah, it could be a mix of a lot of things. Yeah. But you see it how they change. I remember I had a friend that, she wasn't that close to me, but she was in a group of friends that we were all in that group. And the way she would distort not just her personality, it's also her body language. And she was married, like her marriage wasn't great, but she had a child, a young child, and she was married. She had issues in that relationship already, but I think that, we were like at the gathering, and a random guy would appear, like, I don't know, someone's acquaintance, I don't know, someone that we didn't know, a neighbor, someone would enter and would pass, and the way her body language would change in front of him, she would turn into another different person. So it was very noticeable that she was like looking for, around those person validation. I don't know. And she would laugh at his jokes. You know when the person tries to do a lot. So it was unbelievable the way she would change. The way she would change. It was like, oh my God, who are you? Like, what are you? Um, but yeah. Mm. Yeah, they go crazy. They go crazy. It seems like they lose they lose their. I think that they don't see that they do it. They don't see it. They don't see it. They don't see it. But well, uh, I guess we all have our issues. We all have our issues. We all have it. And we were all 20s. We were like, when I was in my 20s, I also was like, like very much into relationships. Um, very much into the person that I was dating. His life and my life were one. I didn't even know what I wanted for myself, but I was already involved in whatever drama he had, with his family and his issues. But I think that, I was talking to my friend. I have like a childhood friend. Um, and we were like going back to that era of the 20s, our 20s. um and and we were reflecting on that, like why we were so like into relationships. Why didn't we, I don't know, focus more on, I don't know, studying, for example, or I don't know, finishing our studies, or no, we were more focused on getting a job, any job, so we could, have money to, to go to clubs, or to, go to parties, and life was simple like that. We didn't have what girls of today have, that they have, I think that they have the priorities, very well established. They start, from a very early age. It's like they don't lose focus. At least from what I've seen from my nieces, or I've seen from young girls, they are very focused on what they want to achieve. Oh, I want to finish. I want to study this career, and I want to finish this. And we were more about, partying, and all of those things. That it was fun. I had a lot of fun, but I was reflecting why we were so immersed, in that fast living, and that everyone were in relationships. Everyone. You didn't have like single people, actually, or single friends. It was more like people that were in relationships. Everyone were in relationships. Some would break up, some would come back. with their ex or with another person. Some would get pregnant and then start living with the person, and it was all like that. It was all around relationships. um, and we spent our the first years of our 20s like this, at least that's what I remember. And we didn't have like like an adult or someone like a reference, or like I don't know, like a teacher, a mentor, someone that were like, you should think about your future, or you should invest on your future, or you should, instead of going around with this guy, and being his wife, like kind of like playing the role of the wife without being married, you should focus on your studies. Like no one said that, because it wasn't like, at least I don't remember having people like letting me know that. I learned that myself actually after my first breakup, like of a long relationship. After being alone for the first time, I started to think about myself, and I started to think like, who am I? Besides being, someone's girlfriend. I was like, okay, who am I? What do I need right now? I need to get my life in order. I need to, start this journey of building myself, because no one is going to come to build my life or to work for me. I have to build myself. Um, and it was a slow process that, yeah, along the way I started to get to know more people, people that somehow, helped me to, understand a bit, like, why, um, what do I want to do? What do you like? People is starting to asking me questions about, like, how about you? Like they give you this space, they give you the spotlight, I would say. And it's nice, it's nice to not to get out of that sort of like cycle where you are chasing another person that probably you don't even like, or some things have happened that you don't feel the same. And 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 I had that I was like, I was chasing a relationship, not chasing, because I don't think that it was chasing, but I was like putting my energy, because for me it was serious, for me it was like a project, but I was losing myself. So when I started to think about myself and what I wanted to do, individually, I started to get to know people that they were, more like all of this on the, self-actualization kind of journey, about independence, about, getting to know your needs, getting to know, your rights, your responsibilities, like everything. And I was like, wow, this is a new kind of education. Because now there's social media and people don't do romance as much. Yeah, probably, Fluffy, yes. Also, cultural changes around gender, which is a good thing. Also, yes. Yeah. Mm. My mom has always told me to set up my life so I'm ready in my late 20s before doing anything relationship. Understand myself and why you want early. Yes, that's I think that that's the wisest. I wish I had, a role model, someone that would have said to me that. I mean, I think that I was very lucky because, I had partners, but I didn't have children with them. So, I was, in my possibilities, and also with my character, I was able to be like, okay, I'm done with you and I'm done with you. I don't resuscitate the past. I'm not that kind of person. Um, but I remember when I was young, everyone was doing that. Like there was like, and I don't know if it still is, if this is something that we, the millennials, especially me and the millennials, if there's something that all the millennials went through. But at some point, there was like a romanticization of the past, going back to your ex, or, trying to make it after being separated for like 10 years, or, going back to your first crush. And I'm like, I always felt that, like, I'm like, no, if I already been with that person, I don't think that I'm going to get something different. Um, for me, I didn't find that, like, that idea of going back. I actually felt I would be ashamed to go back to an ex, because it's like you didn't learn anything. Um, and I always had this perception. I'm like, there's another person for me waiting for me. There's someone that I haven't met yet, but I know that the potential exists. So if I keep going back to the past, it's like there's no room for someone new to come in. And I don't know, I always felt that like that. But I remember that the people around me, the girls around me, they would always be going in cycles all around the same guy. They were in a new relationship and they were already talking to their ex, or they were still with their ex. And I understand that there must be exceptions, or there must be like someone that, somehow, yeah, you guys needed a break, and maybe after a couple of years separated, you guys are ready. That if someone is like, Vanessa, I went through that, and now I feel like I'm happier with them, then, this is why I'm like, I'm not putting everyone on it, you know in the same bag, because I understand that, whatever your heart desires, and also if it's mutual, I think that, your soul learns what you need to learn. And if you go back, there must be a reason. You are the one that you went through the experience of being with the person, so your memories, your feelings, your sensations. But for me, I've always felt like, I seen enough of you. Like, I think that I kind of see who you are, and I don't want that anymore. So, so, it's not about being cold and, oh my God, you have no feelings. No, is that, yeah, the magic probably lasts like the first 6 months of the relationship. Then later is more of the same. So yeah. Mm. Yeah, it always depends on the situation. Some people need time apart and then coming back because they are unfinished business, or feelings are too strong. Yes. Mm. That's what the science says. I don't know. That's what, I don't know who said it, but there was someone that says that the feeling of the honeymoon when you are meeting someone or when you start dating someone is 6 months. And then after that, you start seeing the flaws. I don't know. For me, it didn't. For me, it lasted longer, actually. Like, but I don't know. I'm a Venus in Mars in Pisces. So probably, my veil, my fantasies were hanging in there. But yeah, I cannot say like, oh my God, like, I after 6 months, like I started seeing reality. No, no, it was fun. It was, for me, it lasted longer. Um, but well, I don't know. Um, it's just that for me, what was annoying, um, about, certain people that I knew, that they would go back to their ex, and their ex were awful, and there was like this romanticization. Like, it's not like I miss him or we miss each other and we think like, we need to get back together. No, it was about betrayal and a lot of very toxic things. So, um I remember I had a friend that she was like, for years she would go back to her ex, and for years she would be with someone else, but she would be like, because, oh, he's the father of my children, and she had all these things, you know. And she gave me an example because she knew me. She knew who I dated before. So she named this person, you know, an ex of mine. She was like, oh, because if this ex of yours, if he would come back, you would you take him? Like, would you try? You know, and I said no. I mean, I think that she tried, like she wanted me to empathize with her, you know, with her needs, emotional needs of, you know, wanting to go back to that person because she felt like it was meant to be. And she tried to give me my ex as an example. My answer is like, no, I don't feel like that. No. I don't feel the butterflies or of the potential of what if? No. But I understand if there's people that they have a hard time letting go. If they have a hard time letting go, well, but don't romanticize it. This is what, especially when there's mistreatment, when there's violence, when there's a very toxic, you know, atmosphere, like, don't try to wrap it like as a present. As no, because the universe wants us to be together again. No, the universe, no, you, not the universe, you. It's not the universe. It's about you not knowing how to say no or not knowing how to close a door properly. It's not the universe. It's not, oh, we're soulmates. Yeah, yeah. Okay, whatever makes you happy. Mm. Mm. Ah, yes. Mm-hmm. But yes, relationships, I think that relationships are, you know, there's people that they never been in relationships and they are, they are older, like they are, I don't know, they're in their 30s, they're in my age, and they never been in relationships. And I think that it's okay. It's okay. Like, it's not a competition, you know, you're ready when you're ready. Because honestly, at least for me, I recognize in me that I am someone that I go very deep. You know, when I like someone, when I love someone, you know, I dedicate my energy, my time, my presence to be a good partner. So this is why, but I also need reciprocity. I don't like chasing people. And I think that at least from the men that I've seen, that I met, you know, through the years that weren't like anything official, they want to be chased. They want to be chased. They want you to compete. They want you to be there. Like, they want you to show them that, okay, what do you have to offer me? And I'm like, I don't chase. I'm not going to chase you. I don't chase. I don't get all like, oh my God, I have to. No. If you have of the other options and you think that they are better than me, go with them. Please go, and, you know, get out of my way. But I choose, I like reciprocity. And I think that this is what the issue is with certain women that are single and they probably, you know, never had like a long-term relationship. And they are like, okay, what is wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with you. Relationships are tough. And sometimes when you are in your 20s and when you are a teenager, you get into relationships faster because you are inexperienced and you have this very unrealistic idea of what love and attraction is. You see it on the movies, or you see it because you read it in a book, and you think like, oh, this is my YN moment. And I'm going to make this fantasy come true with this guy that he thinks good. But when it comes to building a family, somehow making it work with their life and your life and their family and your family, is all work. It's all seriousness, and it gets boring and it gets tiring. And so I understand that. For me, the person that is like, oh, I never been in a serious relationship, don't worry, you will have time. In the meanwhile, focus on yourself, because you will need yourself. You will need yourself. Trust me that you will need yourself. You will need to know what you're worth, because once you enter the panorama or the energy of a relationship, you get lost. You get lost, because now it's not about you. It's about the other person as well. So, it is going to swallow you whole. It's going to, and if you add that there's feelings, that you are in love, that you are, infatuated with the person, that you love them, that you think that they are amazing. Yeah, you probably are going to be in there for a lot of time. So yeah, get ready. But yeah, I always say that is it's easier to say, like, oh, I would never do that, because when you are in love with someone, or when you like someone, you, just like I mentioned, you turn into someone else. You don't recognize yourself. You don't recognize yourself. You turn into somehow a kind of monster, I would say. You don't even control your reactions. You get like, love gets you like this. The butterflies, the anxiety. Maybe you get anxious around someone that you like or that you love. And for love, we do a lot of stupid things. For me, about cutting all connections is all about distance. For me, it's about have zero contact. I delete everything related to them. I block. And that's the way, that's for me like the safest way to remove myself energetically from the person, because if I continue seeing that person, probably I will fall back, just like a lot of people do. And that's not because you don't have will or you're weak. It's just that if you have to see each other every day, it's tough. So you need to put distance. You need to put distance to let the feelings somehow die down. They have to die. um so but yeah, being in love, it makes you a very uh you get, you are not rational. You're not rational. You're not rational. So don't blame yourself. If you get weird. If you get weird, just recognize it, and work on that. Because probably it's whatever you feel inside, or if you're acting crazy, this is bigger than a relationship. There's something else in the background that is like triggering this. But yeah, relationships trigger a lot of insecurities, definitely. Yes, exactly. Yeah, being in a relationship or being with someone is also a kind of addiction. Yes, they are that. Yeah, they are that factor. Yes, yes. I didn't care about my studies. Was just waiting to see him. Yeah, yeah. After a moment, I was like, oh, okay, I need to take a step back because I'm just losing myself. Yeah, yeah. I remember when I was in college. It was the same. I would I don't know, he would just get in the way of what I had to do that day. my classes, work. I would start, if we had an argument, for example, I would have like a stomach ache, or I would have something, this is how I noticed, and I remember that also I wouldn't go to class because I was waiting for him to call me. Um, and I recognized that in myself. And I thought that there was something that would happen only to me. I thought that it was just me being like this. But then, hearing other women, um, I understood that some of us, we have that sort of fear. I guess it paralyzes you, the fear of losing someone, or the fear of what if they left me, what if they, and I think that that's also a red flag. If you are in a relationship and you feel like you cannot work or function normally just because that person is not around, or you had an argument with them, or they had a bad day and they don't talk to you, or if there's some miscommunication, or there's drama, and you feel like you get so like, like, oh, I'm not going, I'm going to stop my life and I'm going to wait for him. And these things, with me, I was like, I don't do that. I don't skip classes. I don't miss work. Like, I was okay, a day before what happened, and I recognized that it was him, that it was his influence on me. The arguments, or the, him being petty, or me being petty, or me, like there was something in there and I was like, but I am the one that is losing. I am the one that is losing because I'm not functioning like like, and I think that in there I was like, why are you being so weak? This is something that I thought that it just happened to me, but I did recognize that earlier, and I talked to him about this. I remember we were both very young. But I told him how I felt. Every time we have an argument, or every time, there's something that that is wrong, somehow I freeze. Like, I don't know. You know, I don't know. I think that I learned to regulate that, with time, but it's challenging. Yes. Mm. Yes. Yes. Mm. For me, it's a fear of loss more than betrayal. Yes, I lost a boyfriend, but only I was already afraid of something happening to him before that. Yes, I think that is the fear of loss. Yeah, for me, it's the same. For me, actually, it's fear of abandonment. I recognize that. For me, it's fear of abandonment, but also fear of loss. After my mom died, also, yeah, I have like, I don't know. I get anxious. I don't say anything. I just work on this myself, and I work on this on therapy. But I start feeling like, like, where are you going? Oh, let me know. And I wasn't like this, but I'm like, I get like, let me know when you get home, or like, you didn't ask, like, there's but it doesn't happen with anyone. It has to be someone that I'm really close with. Um, and about relationships, I learned this when I was very young. I had a thing that, every time I would have an argument, and a boyfriend of mine, I remember, they would walk away literally from me, and I would see like the back of their necks, like walking away. I would get really sad. I would get really sad. And it didn't have to be like dramatic, like sometimes, yes, they would walk away because they would, we would argue. But there were moments where they would just say like, okay, I have to go, and I go. And I would stay with this strong feeling of sadness, as if I was feeling that they were going to never come back. As if, I don't know. I always thought that I was like, I always, I don't know. There was a moment in my life when I was very young, and I didn't have the tools to understand my psyche. And I was like, maybe in a past life I lost someone, so this is why I'm afraid to see them go. See their back of their neck, see them they're turning their back and walk away from me. It gave me this sadness. I was like, I was afraid never seeing them again. Yes, but also I understand, Fluffy, because my I had a cousin of mine. I grew up with him. Um, we grew up together. Actually, he talking about Virgo man and the Virgo energy. He was the first one of the first Virgos in my life. He was my we were around the same age. He was Virgo Sun and Cancer Moon. We were really close when we were children, and then when we started, like, he had a very complex relationship in his family, with his brother and everything that was very violent. But he would always be, very emotional, like very intelligent. We would talk. We were like 9, and we used to have these deep conversations while going to buy groceries together, like, and then we started to, distance ourselves because, I was, becoming a teenager. He was becoming a teenager himself. So we started to distance ourselves. And yes, he had also an accident with a motorcycle as well. And yes, he passed away at 15 years old. So I guess that also, like, I got stuck in that moment of knowing what loss is, and just thinking about, the tragedy and how young he was. Yeah, so yeah, I think that's why I remember that. But he also had I know that he had other issues because we used to. So I was always like, was this an accident, or was he really? Because I know before he got on the motorcycle, he had an argument with someone in the family. So he grabbed the motorcycle that I believe that had certain issues, because the motorcycle was like something that they arranged themselves, him and his friends. So probably there was something wrong with the motorcycle as well. But he also like a crashed with the back of a car, and in the impact he flew, and he hit his head with the side of the road. And so, but I always think about him and how unhappy he was in his house. So this is why then, I did this specialization on teenagers, because I was like, I also want to help teenagers and to be able to speak about whatever is going on, because at that age, we are so fragile. We are so, I also got lupus at 14. So, like everything happened around that time. There was a lot of battled emotions, and we just wouldn't talk with people about it. But I remember that he would say things to me. When you grew up with someone, we used to have conversations as children, but the conversations were really deep. So I remember what he said. When you know someone, and I'm like, yeah, you didn't have a safe home. So I guess I felt very sorry for that, because you always feel like I should have done something, but what could I do? I was also a child. So I guess now I'm trying to make the difference, by helping others, but I think that everything started with my relationship with him. And now that you mentioned this, about the motorcycle, and now that you mentioned the accident and your boyfriend, but there was something in me that I was like, I went through something like that, and I couldn't get it. And now that you mentioned this, I was like, yeah, maybe that's the fear of lose. Because I'm like, about my mom, I understand, because it was a disease. She was my mom, so but I was like, I was like that before. Like yeah, like that. Yes. Mm, yeah. Yes. 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 It's just that, yeah. There's something about those motorcycles that I don't like. I was like, please don't don't use them, because they think that they have the control. Even when sometimes when my dad drives, the people on motorcycles, they get in the way, because they are like, oh, I pass this, or I have the place, and so I do this and I go. And it's like, it's not just you on the road, like, yes. Okay, guys, just let's stop with the sad talking. But thank you to everyone. Thank you, Fluffy. Thank you, Draculaura. Thank you for sharing your experiences, because I think that it's not just, sometimes we think that, oh, it's a me thing, it's something that I do. I'm weird like this. No, just like you mentioned, Fluffy, we are shaped by our past experiences, and it's good to put it into words, to talk about, to write it down, to talk with others about this. That, yeah, we are all strangers to each other, we don't know each other, but there's certain experiences, that we are all going through. That it's just that we are like, oh, that must not be it, because it happened a long time ago. No, it doesn't matter how long, it stays with us. It somehow shapes us, it shapes us. um and but also it shows you, that life is fragile, so we have to make the best of what we can here, the ones that we're standing. We have to make the best of it. It's not about, covering it and be positive and just being like, oh, well, we will be okay. No, it's about being like, yeah, I seen dark times. I know about sorrow. I know about sadness. um I know about feeling helpless. I know it. But it's also about like, okay, I want to do better. For the people that are not here with us, I want to honor them and do better, or live differently, or give myself the chance to live, what they couldn't live, and or experience what they couldn't experience. And everything is from a place of honoring um their teachings, because they were part of our lives. It doesn't matter how long, but they were part of our lives because of a reason. They were here to teach us this. So yeah, we have to keep going. We have to keep going, but also understanding that we are sensitive, and that we fear lose. Sometimes people are like, oh, well, you are being cold and detached. No, people that we have lost others, we know why we are so protective, or of our intimacy, or why it takes us longer to trust or to open up. And why when we open up, we sort of hold on, to the loved ones, to the people that we love, because we know what it's like to lose, and it changes you. it changes you, you know, and yeah, sometimes maybe the other person doesn't know, like, why are you getting like this? But you know, it's just that we are sensitive. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yes, I think that it teaches you to be happy and grateful for the life we have right now. Yes, don't give up because there are so many people that love and rely on us. Yes, definitely. Yes. Mm. Hello, Vanessa Pro. Okay, guys, I'm going to start with the readings. I have on my list today, I have in flying member Seung Hyub. I have twice Jeongyeon. I have Monsta X Minhyuk. I have T.O.P, Ateez Hongjoong, the actress Kim Hyeyoon, and another Chinese actress, Zhang Si. Zhang Si. Scorpio people I have. Scorpio people. For their aura, the readings for their, you know, attractiveness or aura, I don't remember. Was it what is attractive about them? I created the you know, the concept of the series. I'm going to do it Wednesdays, guys. I didn't forget about that. I have it all written down, the recommendation. Okay, I'm going to change now my mic because if I should put it here or here. Here is better. Here. Okay. Sorry, my top today, it's so messy. Okay. Okay, I'm going to start with this member of N Flying. It's a K-pop group, N Flying. And this member name is Lee Seung Hyub. Lee Seung Hyub. He's a Scorpio. Lee Seung Hyub. See for him. I believe in flying, it's could it be a group that is like I don't know when they debuted, but they sound like it's not a new group. I think that I've seen their name. Could it be that it's like a group from the early generations of K-pop and flying? Okay, for this member, for Lee Seung-hyo, probably he's also in the, maybe he's an actor or something else besides being part of this group. I don't know. For him, we start with the 9 of Pentacles. We have the 5 of Pentacles. We have the King of Wands in the middle. We have the Lovers. And we have the 8 of Swords. And then we have the 4 of Pentacles, again, security. Security. I think that there's something just very interesting. He's worried a lot about his security. Not in a sense of protection. I think that he's worried about money, opportunities, the pentacles. So it's all about work, individual projects. I don't see something group related. It's more like I'm worried about, like, he's definitely with the King of Wands in the middle. He's definitely looking at did he lose something? Did he lose money? Did he lose opportunities? Because I think that he started the year actually, maybe he had been, having a great, like a great, individual activities or individual opportunities. It feels like he had always been like successful on his own, or maybe he has, his own show or something like this. But it seems like individually he had been doing very well, but then I see losses. So it seems like he had been doing very well, but then, some things didn't work out. And he's trying to recuperate from this. I think that he definitely, as the King of Wands, there's a lot of passion. He's very determined to make it, to get out of this feeling of loss, this feeling of like, I was doing great, and all of a sudden, maybe it stopped, maybe he didn't get enough opportunities or work like he used to. I think that he knows about success. He knows about, recognition. He's somehow used to recognition and being celebrated. He has like a healthy, also self-esteem. I think that maybe he's very popular, or he's very wanted where he works. People want to see more of him. But with the Five of Pentacles, there's losses. There's money losses. I don't know if he lost or if something happened with his finances, but he's looking at them and he's like, I have to get stronger. I have to, do something about this. I cannot stop and just be like, oh, I'm so sorry for myself. I don't think that he's the kind of person that he's not, like, oh, I'm sorry for myself. I think that he's a very strong individual. His mentality is also very strong. His body is strong. He's a very strong person. He's very passionate about his life, about his things. But probably something happened. Maybe it's in the business that he's in, that maybe the money is not coming in, or there's something about this not being good enough, or just lacking, and just being like, this is not, usually the amount of money that usually I get paid this, or I do this with my money. I feel like there have been certain losses that maybe he had to adapt, like, okay, like, I don't think that these are debts, like he has debts, but there's something about him maybe being promised something, like, oh, you're going to make this kind of money, or you're going to get this kind of, financial result, and he didn't get it. Yeah, and then we have the Lovers, and we have the Eight of Swords. So I think that in the next months, honestly, it's going to be a bit complicated for him I don't think that he's going to be able to, get up as fast or recuperate as fast as he would like, because I see him very excited. Not excited. Also, the King of Wands is someone that is very dominant. So I wonder if he wants to recuperate his money. I don't see someone stealing money from him, but he's looking at it. He's looking at the Five of Pentacles. So I wonder if he blames someone for what happened to him, or an opportunity that he lost. I think that something happened, and he's like, I'm going to chase the person, I'm going to chase whoever is responsible for this, because he feels very passionately about this. He's looking at it. So I'm like, maybe there's drama. Maybe there's drama. And in the near future, with the Lovers and the Eight of Swords, uncomfortable times, I would say. Uncomfortable times, a lot of indecisions, like, okay, how do I move on from this? I think that, mentally, there's something probably about him getting a bit stuck, not being able to trust, probably, if something happened, him being in the middle and being like, I don't know if I should maybe invest again, or put his money somewhere else. I don't know. I think that he's worried. He's worried about his securities, or maybe about his savings. We do have the Four of Pentacles that says security. So I think that something happened with his money, or something happened with his sense of security, and he will have to deal with this in the next month and the beginning of 2026. So yeah, he will have to rebuild, his security again, or he will have to, maybe find ways. I think that it's going to be challenging, honestly, with the Lovers and the Eight of Swords. There's something about him being stuck in his mind and just feeling very helpless about the situation, like just not knowing, when you want to fix this, but the conditions or the possibilities are very narrow, are not really good. Like, I cannot see my way out of this. So maybe he will just have to endure it and just let it pass, or maybe, think things better, or get someone to help him, because on his own, I don't think that he can make it. There's going to be a lot of confusion, or maybe people promising that they can help him, but he doesn't fully trust them. This is a very Scorpio thing. I think that something happened and he doesn't see them the same way. So yeah, it's going to be awkward. But he's working on this. The keyword is security. So he has to, maybe change his security, like, his bank account or his numbers. He has to change passwords. Like, there's something about, you have to hold on tight to what you have. So yeah, take care of that. Okay. I'm going to continue with Twice Jeongyeon. I don't know if today is her birthday, but I believe Akira mentioned her, that she turned 29. Wow. Very nice. I love that if it's her birthday and we have the Empress and there's like, a present being wrapped. It's so cute. I love it for her. Okay, for Jeongyeon of Twice, we start with the Page of Pentacles in reverse, Eight of Cups, King of Swords in the middle, Four of Wands, Queen of Swords. And we have the Empress. The keyword says receive, receive. So yes, for her, for Jeongyeon, it's all about receiving, like open up to receive the blessings. She's going to get a lot. She's going to get really abundant. I love this. I see this man here. Who is this man? Every time I say this, I think that something happens. Every time I say this sort of, I question, every time I open the question, somehow something moves. So I'm going to say it for her. I'm going to say it for Jeongyeon. Who is this man? Who is this man? He's going to rule her life, or not in a bad way, but there's something about him being important. He's in the middle of the reading. So let's see. It could be work. I don't feel like it's work. I don't see pentacles. It could be, someone that makes her happy, or that, is playful, is funny, gets her, and is very honest, very straightforward, So it could start like, like a cute interaction, and then, maybe it can get, I think that he's important. And he's going to be there for a while, so you probably are going to see him. Yeah, we start with the Page of Pentacles and the Eight of Cups for her. So I think that this card, I don't have reversals in my deck. I don't know how this came up like this, but I think that the Page of Pentacles in reverse, it somehow shows you the evolution of Jeongyeon from this year, or maybe the year before this, she had been working a lot. So, somehow the Page of Pentacles in reverse is like, you are no longer a page. Like you don't have to work extra hard like a rookie. You don't have to work extra hard as if you were just starting as an amateur. You can drop, the details, like, I have to work harder, I have to practice more, I have to exercise more. No, you leave it. You leave it behind. You move on. Probably this is something about her not having to do a certain practice anymore, or not having to, I don't know why I want to say exercise, but I don't think that is exercise, but it's something that it has to do with body. So probably could it be like she was doing a sort of routine or a treatment to help her with a part of her body? I think that this is like, you don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to work. You're already better. So also, I think that she stopped a long time ago, like a couple months ago, but probably emotionally she was still stuck in this feeling of like, oh, I'm still in recovery, or I'm still, I have still this treatment, or I have still this condition. And the cards are like, it's just your sensation. It's just that it has been for a very long time, so probably she got attached. Not just that, maybe it's a medication that she got like somehow like attached to the medication. Maybe her body is somehow attached to the symptoms. But the cards is like, remove any kind of, emotional attachment that you have to that era, because you're no longer in there. You move on. It's okay. You're no longer in that. You don't need it. You're safe. Advance. And I have this King of Swords in the middle. So I think that this is, if this is a collaboration or someone that is going to work with her, definitely this is a very important person. This is someone wiser. This is someone older. This is someone very intellectual, very intelligent, very sharp. Also, I don't see that this, I think that this person can be nice to her, but I don't see this person being like, oh, this is so, I'm being cute with you. No, it could start like a sort of intellectual kind of, collaboration where they talk and they just are being honest with each other. But there's going to be a bit of playfulness, because we have the Four of Wands and we also have her as the Queen of Swords as well. So I think that their humors are matching, are very similar. So probably there's something about them talking or interviewing each other, but it's going to be very playful, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. There's going to be activities, or there's going to be maybe other people involved. It's going to be fun. Maybe it's content, because I see her involved also in this. And I think that this is going to change. It's going to be a change in her career, also advancing in her career and in her individual activities, I would say the most, because I see that this is all for her. I don't think that it's for the group, it's her. Yeah, and the Empress, it says open to receive. The Empress is like, you need to feel bonita again. You need to embrace the Empress, embrace your femininity, embrace it in any shape or form that the Empress enters your life. Welcome her. Be receptive. Don't put your guards up. Just being soft, because I think that it's been a while, since she maybe received good news, good feedback. But I think that, what is to come is going to be a lot of compliments, a lot of, I don't know why I want to say flowers, a lot of flowers, literal flowers, or a lot of gifts, a lot of propositions, a lot of friendliness, good times. So it's all amazing for her. I love it. And she's going to have, as the Queen of Swords, the clarity to see that everything that she receives is going to be authentic. It's going to be from authentic people. Yes, I think, yeah. But every time I say that, like, I don't know, is it, how is it called in English? Is it like a rhetoric question? It's not that I'm asking you guys literally to answer me back, but I'm like, opening the question because there's something that I'm seeing that I'm not seeing in the cards, but, I want to say it. So this is why I say it in the form of a question, because I'm like, we have to expand our perception. Something is coming. Something important is coming. Yeah, rhetorical question. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to read for Monsta X Minhyuk, my bias in Monsta X. Let's see. Let's see if the Queen of Wands appears again. Remember when I saw the Queen of Wands? She was there. Oh my God. She was strong. She was strong. Minhyuk. A lot of wands. I don't see the Queen of Wands, but I do see a lot of wands. A lot of wands. So probably Minhyuk is single. The Queen of Wands, I don't see her here. So probably he's single. He's in his single era. A lot of work. A lot of work. It makes sense. It makes sense why he has a lot of wands, because he's feeling energetic. He's feeling very proactive. He probably is going to have to work a lot, put his body to work, dance, move, be competitive. Yeah, a lot of work. He probably is already overwhelmed with the amount of things that he has to do. But well, I think that he can, he can put the body to work like this. We start with the Sun. We have the King of Wands. We have the 9 of Wands in the middle, 5 of Wands, 6 of Wands, all Wands. And yes, we have the 8 of Pentacles, hard work. So yeah, just like the Britney song, you better work. A lot of work. A lot of work. It's not going to be, I don't want to say it's not going to be fun. It's going to be tough. It's going to be challenging for him to keep up. I think that he's already tired, or I think that he's happy that he's going to have a lot of activities maybe, but there's a bit of like, a feeling of like, if you ask him, he's like, I'm already tired. I'm already not tired, but I think that he's a bit overwhelmed. There's something about his body. It seems like he has been in survival mode for a very long time. So his body feels like he's been put to the test. Probably, maybe it's a military, maybe it's coming back right away and starting with the content. So it feels like he never rested. His body still feels like he has all the adrenaline inside of him. And because he is used to this, and because he is an entertainer, he can master this. But this doesn't take away, the fact that this is very consuming and challenging. We start with the Sun, and we have the King of Wands. So he is like a child. He's someone that, yeah, the way he shows you who he is, yeah, this is who he is. He's not playing a character. He's actually someone that, yeah, he is. I see a naked child, and I'm like, if Minhyuk if he was acquaintance with you, he would get naked in front of you, just to get closer, to do some bonding. I don't know. I think it's weird what I'm saying, but there's something about him not being afraid of taking his clothes off and be like, this is me, this is my body, look at my body. Like, it's not about, exposing himself. No. It's more about, like, we are bodies, we have to endure ourselves. So yeah, I don't have, I don't have any, I don't, I'm not ashamed. I'm not a shy person. I show you what I am. I show you what I got. I show you who I am. And I think that there's something about him stripping himself from clothes or something like this. It's just very funny. I don't know. Maybe the fans know a bit about if he does this with the members or something like that. But it feels like this, very childlike. But it's cute. But yeah, him as the King of Wands, definitely he's also a leader. He's a leader. He's a leader that leads with authenticity. And there's a bit of mischievousness. There's a bit of, he can be a bit playful. He can be, a bit childish. He's very funny, very funny. But behind that, that sort of like ray of light that he has, that sort of like very warm, charismatic energy, he's a leader. He is a leader. He leads others. He leads others. I think that everywhere he goes, he is like the one that calls the shot. I don't know. I know that in Monsta X, we do have a leader, but I think that Minhyuk, it's a leader. And there's something about him probably maybe exuding this sort of quality of leadership in his life, and somehow, letting people know that, yeah, I can be cute, I can be fun, we can joke, we can play, but at the end, I'm a man. I'm a masculine man, and I make my own decisions, and I stand by my decisions. I'm a very confident man. I'm not a child. It's like when he has to get serious, he gets serious. And I think that in 2026, and probably, what is left of this year, you're going to see him embracing this. It seems like he's in a general kind of mode, like a sergeant. He is very dominant. He's a very dominant person. It's just that he mixes it with a playfulness, he's like, but he has a strong temper. He has a strong temper. It's like, if he doesn't let you pass, you are not going to pass. But yeah, he's also asserting his own dominion, in the sense that probably he's trying to get control, some kind of control in his life. Maybe, stopping people from trying to get into his personal life, or maybe putting certain boundaries, or looking more serious about matters, because he is acting like a leader here. He's acting like a man of his age. He's like, you don't have access. No. Yeah, I'm an idol, but I'm also a man. And you will not get into my life. You will not tell me what to do. You will not tell me what to do. I will tell you what to do. He's very bossy like this. He's very bossy. He's like, don't get on my nerves, because, he has a strong personality. It's just that he disguises it. He disguises it, but he's like, he's in his boss era. But yeah, the nine of wands in the middle, it shows that, yeah, he will continue to participate in a lot of activities. I think that 2026 is going to be very busy for Monsta X. He already feels like the burden. I think that there's something about Minhyuk being like, I never had a break. Ever since I came back, I wasn't able to sit down. Like, I don't know. It feels like this. I don't know. Maybe the fans, if you guys know, maybe you can tell me, like, did the guys have a break? Did they have a vacation? I think that for him, it wasn't enough. There's something about him being standing here and being like, yeah, I also don't, I'm not, he's not going to quit. He definitely is going to, resist. He has the energy. It's just that, it's going to be a very busy year, and it's going to be challenging. I think that it's because of competition. We have the 5 of wands. So probably next year is going to be a very competitive year for groups. Maybe for boy groups, it's going to be a very competitive year. So maybe, you know, the group will have to do more, will have to participate in other things, will have to do extra things, will have to do, you know, something different with the concept of the group, but also individually, they will have to show up, they will have to show their faces, they will have to have participations. So it's going to be working nonstop. And also it could feel like they will have to fight for their way. They will have to fight to get the opportunity. It's going to be a competitive year. It's not going to be smooth. It's not going to be like, oh well, you know, I'm from Monsta X. Like let me through. Let me go. No, it's going to be very challenging. Probably they will have to, you know, show something different. They will have to come up with, you know, a lot of possibilities for them to make their way. But I think that it's going to be challenging. But at the end, we have the six of wands. So at the end, you know, there's going to be a reward for him. I think that after all this, you know, I see him working a lot, but I think that it's going to pay off. He's going to get a recognition, or he's going to get, you know, maybe an opportunity or something that he wants, that personally he wants to win, either for himself or for the group. So I think that he's going to see the reward. So I'm excited for him, because definitely I see that this is not a simple win. This is something that you have to put a lot of yourself to win. A lot. A lot. I wonder what activities these are, because it feels very like you need to put the body, you need the adrenaline, you need the stamina, you need the, you know, I don't know. Is he going to participate in a kind of, you know, like competition, like competitive game with other men? Because it feels very masculine. But yeah, Ace of Pentacles, hard work, keep working, keep improving, keep being better, keep showing new things. All about work, all about work for me here. But yeah, he's owning it. He's owning it. It's a year with about no stop for him. No stop for me. But yeah, he's content. He's not going to be sad. No. He's just like, he's going to look a bit like, I'm a bit tired. I'm a bit tired. What can I say? Okay. Let's see for T.O.P, for top. Let's see for top. Oh. Why is he so secretive? Like, this card came up like this when all of them came up upwards. Like, why is he so secretive? He's so secretive. Is he going to release new music? I think that he will. Or maybe for 2026. But yeah, another one that is somehow getting the inspiration. He's starting to feel the fire. Okay, Knight of Wands, Knight of Pentacles, Ten of Cups in the middle, the Death card, this is very Scorpion, Death card, and the Ten of Swords. And we have the Ace of Wands that it says inspiration. Inspiration. Hey, Danya. He's happy. He's happy. I see that he's because I'm like, I see these 2 nights and I'm thinking, I'm like, could this be, Big Bang members somehow approaching him, and him having like a better relationship with them, because the Ten of Cups is like community, happiness, and everything. And I wish I could tell you that this is like Big Bang members like somehow approaching him and being, but I think that these are other people. I think that these are other people. These are not, his happiness has nothing to do with Big Bang or Big Bang members or, someone from Big Bang. Or I think that he has other people, he has another team, he has another community. The community is actually making him feel very happy, like he is part of something important again. He feels very happy about maybe the community, the group of friends that he has now. It feels like he, this is his real inspiration. And I wish I could tell you like, oh, this is Big Bang, and maybe there's going to be like a comeback, but I see the death card. So for me, when I see the death card, even though, associated with this is about him, letting go of sadness and, finally, if he was in a sort of like a mourning process, or if he was sad, or, just very, very much like in a dark time, the dark time is over. The dark times are over. There's a transformation. He's no longer in this state of feeling defeated. So maybe he's overcoming his own demons, his past, something. But at the same time, when I see the death card, I can sort of like feel it energetically. I can feel it like him being like, don't you dare to bring out someone from my past. My happiness is the people that I have today with me. So, when I see, because I see people around him, I see these two are moving a lot for him. He has a family, he has a community that makes him happy, that sustains him emotionally. It seems like, no, don't you dare to say that this is Big Bang related, because these people are my people, and is nothing. I think that the death card is like him being, again, very like cutthroat and honest, and being like, I'm not my past. So, I know that probably people have certain expectations, or they're like, maybe he can do this with them, maybe he can. I think that there's something with the death card that is like, I don't go back to the past. Just like, we started the live stream and I was reflecting about this, about, that certain people have a sort of romanticization of the past, about past relationships, for example. And I was like, well, I never had that, because when I ended things for good. And that's the vibe that I'm getting from Top, from T.O.P. This is what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like he's like, I'm happy now, but don't you dare to say that I'm happy because Big Bang is this and Big Bang is doing this and the members are doing this for me. These are not the members. These are new people in my life. These are other friends or other communities that I have built because I have community now. So it's also about him, I guess what I see here is that there's a lot of love, there's a lot of emotional support for him. But probably these are bonds, these are relationships that he had been able to build, sustain, and enjoy these last years, these past couple of years. So I think that there's something about him with the death card being like, I'm in a new state in my life. I'm improving, I'm transforming, I'm shedding my old skin, and I'm coming back. But I am coming back. And the help that I got is from other people. And this is not about like comparison or being like, oh, are they good to him? Are they not good to him? This is about him having a different life, probably, and being like, you need to mention this, that I have other people, that I have other communities, that my life is different. And sometimes people have a hard time, accepting when, there's an artist or there's someone that is able to move on. And he's like, I'm able to move on. I was able to move on. So it's about embracing this, without, I think that he's like, I moved on. I did the work. So it is like, don't associate me with other people because I did the work. No one helped me. Probably, yeah, there's people, but in the sense that he made individual decisions. And I think that there's something about people not getting that he's an individual. Maybe there's people that do, but there's like somehow the cards are like, I need to remind you that if I come back for me. So expect things, new things, but expect things from me. Inspiration, Ace of Wands. There's a new passionate beginning. There's more creation. There's he's coming back with something new. Yeah, he has his people. It's not that he's alone, but he's like, respect me as an individual. Respect me. Like, stop mentioning others. Like, I think there's something about him probably being a bit tired that people don't. I don't know if there's something about people not believing him or wanting, like, actually wishing something different for him. I wish I could tell the fans something different. I don't see it, at least not now. I see him, and I see his people, but I cannot say this is Big Bang related. No, I think that these are either his family or his group of friends or a community. He belongs to a community. Okay, I'm moving on with Ateez Hongjoong. Ateez Hongjoong, let's see, the leader of Ateez. Okay, for Ateez Hongjoong, we start with the Eight of Wands, Five of Cups, Knight of Cups in the middle, Ace of Pentacles, and we have the Hangman. And then we have the Knight of Wands that it says adventure. Adventure. He's such a creative individual. He always has something out of his sleeve, because I see losses. I think that it's not losses, but I think that there's something. I don't know if he or maybe the group, they are going to release something, but something gets lost or they are betrayed in some way. I think that he's talking to me about creations, that he is just like the Knight of Cups, he is this very generous creator. So he's abundant. He always has something to give to the audience, always, always, or to the group, or to the community, or to the fans. There's something about him being so generous, and this is the energy of him also in 2026. So I think that there's something about, but at the same time, with he's sort of turning his back to recent events about him maybe getting news, or him finding out something unexpectedly. This could be the internet as well. Him being disappointed at people, or maybe lost opportunities, or opportunities that had been spoiled for him or the group. So somehow he has to come up with a new plan, a new idea. It's like, oh, okay, I have to turn the other cheek, and okay, keep producing or keep delivering or keep. But I think that whatever whatever news sometimes he gets, or information that he gets, it just sometimes it breaks his heart. It feels like literally slapping the face. It feels like he had been dealing with this, with this feeling of like, oh, this was spoiled for us, or I had my high expectations on this, and I found that no, they are not going to let us do this. So somehow we lost something along the way. We lost a lot of opportunities, or we lost things that could have been a better option for us. And I think that for him as a creator, and also as someone that is very, not I want to say that he's sensitive, but he's very creative, a very emotional and creative person. Like his ideas and his perceptions, everything flows like water. But at the same time, I think that he maybe there's moments where he's like, I had my cups were full, but someone dropped them. Someone spoiled my content. Someone spoiled what I generously given to others. So I think that it seems like it never stops. The Eight of Wands is like the sudden news that this happened with this that I created, or someone said, or someone did something to try to spoil or sabotage what I created. So somehow I have to get back, and I have to start all over, and I have to create again. And he definitely has it. He thank God, he never loses his pace, his rhythm. He's like, okay, here I go again. You spoil this for us, okay, I will bring something new. Here, this is mine. This is for us. It's just that, it's like, water runs just like creativity. You have these moments where it runs, very fluently and everything goes well. But what if one day he runs out of ideas? What is going to happen? And I think that this is his fear, because I see that he's going to produce, or he's going to do something very successful, something very, he's going to create something for the group or something for himself that is going to be a total success in the beginning of 2026. I can kind of feel it. I don't know if Ateez is going to have a comeback maybe soon. I have no idea. But it seems like he's always working. He's always on his way to deliver something. So he is very generous with people, with the industry, I would say even. So when I say that he's going to give something, it can be Ateez, but it can also be to another artist. Maybe he gives his creations to another people, or he writes for other people, or he participates in other people's projects. But I see him always getting going. I think that he's like, if I stay quiet and observe how disappointed I am, or how sad this makes me feel when I lose these opportunities, or when things are spoiled for us, I wouldn't be able to get out of my bed. It will get me very depressed. But I think that with the Knight of Cups, he's like, no, I'm an artist. I have to keep going. I'm an artist. I have to keep advancing. I have to keep giving from my heart. And I have to keep trusting that what I'm doing is well received or is going to be of someone like, it's going to be a success. And I think that he's going to deliver something very successful. But then I have the Hangman. So again, it could be that there could be an interruption. Honestly, I think nevertheless, for Hongjoong, I think that he's so generous that I don't think that this is going to make him feel bitter. But somehow, it's like, I don't know if it's him or what he produces or it's the group that people get them in a very uncomfortable situation. It's like, it doesn't matter how successful they get because the success is here, the recognition probably, but somehow they always, there's like a silence or there's like an interruption or something happens that it puts them in this very awkward moment where they always feel like it doesn't matter how hard they work, they always have to sacrifice. They always have to wait for their turn, or they always have to stay quiet and observe. Maybe things are not fair in the industry, neither for Hongjoong nor for the group. So, but he will still keep delivering, and the group probably keep delivering success. It's just that there's a bittersweet kind of feeling, like I could be happy for this, but I'm not, because they don't let us enjoy our success. It feels weird, I don't know, but we have the Knight of Pentacles, not the Knight of Wands, another Knight, another one on their horse that is going to get going, and it says adventure. So yeah, it doesn't matter if they want to stop Ateez or stop Hongjoong from delivering, hits or a great song or a great concept. They're going to keep delivering because he is a master in this. And he's going to get on his horse and he's going to embark himself in the new adventure, him and the group. So a year where he's going to be like, okay, well, yeah, I'm a bit disappointed, but I'm not surprised. It is what it is, but they will keep advancing anyways. He's going to take it like, yeah, like an adventure. Like, okay, let's have fun with what we can. This is the spirit. This is the altitude. He's like, I cannot, there's certain things that he cannot defeat. Maybe it's the system, maybe there's certain rules, maybe there's some hidden agendas that he's like, well, it is what it is for us. But he's always, I think that his success comes from, like, you want to take this away from me? Well, here, I have more. This is his success. He's like, when people are like, I'm sure he doesn't have another one. He does. He does have a lot, say. So this is how his mind works. He's like, I have it. I have more. I'm sure you don't, but I do. But I do. Because he knows about betrayal. He knows about people trying to spoil things for them. So he's like, yeah, I can see your intentions. This is why I work extra hard. So we never run out, even if you try to steal from us. Okay. I'm going to continue with the actress Kim Hye-jun. See, for the actress Kim Hye-jun. Kim Hye-jun. I'm sure that the probably the Korean. I haven't read yet for as an overall, as I always do for the K-pop industry and the K-drama industry or the entertainment the Korean entertainment business. But it seems like the 2026 is going to be very demanding, challenging physically, like them not being able to rest. Because in her, the Nine of Wands came out a lot today for this Scorpio artist. So I think that for her, we have the Nine of Wands still. It is starting to appear for a lot of people. So probably there's a lot of maybe them being overworked or having to work extra hours to achieve something. It's not going to be easy, it's going to be demanding, but well, maybe there's going to be a lot of competition, like a lot of shows coming, a lot of comebacks, a lot of music, a lot of content. So you have to get going. You have to, get you have to get your things as well. You have to get out there because there's going to be a lot of movement. So yeah, for her, we start with Hermit. We have the Magician. We have the Nine of Wands. We have the Nine of Pentacles, and we have the Page of Wands. And then we have the Three of Cups. It says community. Yes, I think that is very, actually the Three of Cups is a great card about community because honestly, the first cards that I get is that I don't want to say like she has been isolating herself. But the Hermit and the Magician is giving me this very lonely energy. Like somehow like I'm focusing on myself or I'm studying on my own or I'm doing projects, individual projects, or I'm working on myself. I definitely don't think that she's just sitting at home and not doing anything. Actually, the Magician, it talks about, mercurial, like she's like somehow juggling, doing a lot of things. Maybe rehearsing, maybe practicing, maybe, learning something new. But definitely this lady is not, just, oh, I'm all by myself at my house because I'm a homebody and I need to rest. No, she's not. she's, she's collecting information. She's like absorbing new knowledge. She's a great multitasker, I would say. She in the multitasking world, she's amazing. It's just that she does everything on her own. I think probably this is part of her 2026, feeling like maybe you didn't see much of her because I think that she has been like concentrating her energy into working on herself or maybe, preparing herself on her own, maybe not being in the spotlight that much. But I think that everything has a purpose and probably it's because she's like preparing herself for a bigger role. I see it here. But yeah, in the middle we have the Nine of Wands. So I think that yeah, she's going to feel a bit overwhelmed, a bit tired, also a bit annoyed, um, because I think that she has, with the Magician and the Hermit, there's something about her being so good at mastering a lot of skills. So, it feels like she's very intelligent. It feels, and I always get this energy of her. So maybe sometimes, she probably works with people or she works under certain coaches or directors or, people that they are supposed to teach her or they're supposed to guide her. And at the end, she's like, I kind of don't resonate with your style. You are making things more complex and it's unnecessary. Her feeling like, your way of working is not actually doing any good. but I guess since you are the one in charge, I will have to follow your instructions. And I think that she's like, okay, I will accept, whatever I have to do. But yeah, it's going to be challenging. It's going to be challenging. She's going to have probably maybe this is like a new role that it has maybe action scenes, or she has to put her body to certain kind of, um, exercise, or training maybe, or she has to master a lot of things, a lot of obstacles, I would say. I don't know why I want to say this, but maybe it resonates later. But it's all physical. It's not, she's well here. It's not that she's like, oh my God, I don't know how to do this. I'm lost. No, this woman, this actress, Kim Hyeyoon, is not a lost artist, nor soul, nor woman. She doesn't need to be saved. She is her own savior, and she's very smart. I need to say this. I know I always compliment her, but it's because she is much more than an actress. And I don't know, maybe if you guys are fans, please let me know if she does other things, because I think that she's on top of a lot of other things that that require a lot of thinking and planning. And there's something about her being like, I don't need others. The others need me. But she does great on her own. Or maybe she's looking for a work that doesn't necessarily mean that she has to collaborate with others. She's looking to work on herself and probably advance on her own. Not just like, oh, I have to collaborate with this, or I have to do this with this. It's like she's like, I am my own star. I am my own prodigy. I can do better. I could do better if you give me the chance. But yeah, we have the nine of Pentacles, and we have the Page of Wands. So yeah, I see her just shining a lot in this role. She's going to also be praised a lot for her individual activities or individual performance. She probably, if she has a co-star, probably the co-star is like lesser known. Like probably the co-star is, or either it's more inexperienced than her, or it's someone younger than her. But it feels like, it could be, it could be someone younger, but very passionate. So I think that they could, if it's a co-star, I don't know why I don't feel like it's romantic, like it's going to be a romantic movie or drama. I think that it's not like that, but probably this guy or this man that I'm seeing here is like a rookie, is someone that is just starting in the business, or is starting to get, famous or recognized. But he's so passionate to work with her. He's like following her around, and yeah, because she has a lot of winnings under her belt, I would say. Like she has a lot of she has mastered a lot of her talent. She has made herself. This is why I'm like, this is a woman that this is why she gets all these cards of, I'm standing here on my own. I'm standing here on my self-esteem, on my independence, on my own resilience, because no one helped me. I am staying here because I made myself. I created the opportunities for myself. No one came to help me out or gave me a hand. Actually, I kind of see her giving hands to others, or helping out others. But yeah, there could be, a younger co-star, someone that also looks up a lot to her, and probably, it's like wanting to learn a lot from her, because maybe she's going to be much more famous than him. So he's like next to her. But yeah, we have the card of community. So see, the keyword for probably the next month and also 2026 is that she has to, go back and, get in the community again. I think that she does amazing on her own. I think that she's so talented. She doesn't need others. but somehow I think that the car community is like, you need to, find your community. You need to open more to your community, like engage more with other colleagues or with friends, try to make more friendships in the industry, or maybe, in another community that you want. It doesn't have to be actors or actresses. It could be a hobby of theirs, of hers, and just, but don't do everything on your own. Just open up more to a community, like rely more on others, work with others, open your group, like don't just isolate yourself, just look for your community where you feel comfortable. There it is, there it is. But she needs to, maybe collaborate more with others, being seen more with others. It's like this is the teaching of the year for her. Okay, I'm going to read for this actress. Oh, and then I'm going to go. This is a Chinese actress, Yang Si. She's a Scorpio as well. I don't know if I read for her before. Yeah, actress Yang Si. Yang Si. Mm-hmm. Also work for her is going to be active. Okay, let's start with her. King of Pentacles. For her, nine of Pentacles. We have the Ace of Wands in the middle. We have the Queen of Swords, and we have the Wheel of Fortune. And then we have the Five of Swords, that is says defeat. I mean, I see her working or starting a very passionate new project, but could it be that she, like, I don't know, maybe she is known for a certain series, or is she married? I don't know, but I see this gentleman here. I see this man here associated with the Nine of Pentacles. So this is like someone like that is very, this man is very influential. So if this is like a co-star of hers, or someone that she has been working with, or maybe is part of her very successful era of hers, or a very beloved project of hers, but this man is in here, and with him it comes a lot of a lot of success, a lot of success, and I think that I don't know, I don't want to say like her success depends on him, but I kind of see that he's attached to her success, and I don't know if it's like, oh, he and her working with him, it represents like a very successful era, or something that was very that she was doing her best in there, or she was shining so much, or she was getting so much recognition, and I think that also the Ace of Wands is maybe her also starting a new project that for her it's like, yeah, I have been doing really well. I'm going to continue working. And this project is also, maybe, the fans are also very excited, or, there's something just very powerful about this beginning, you know. It's just that with the Queen of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune, I kind of see her, with the Wheel of Fortune, like, could it be that she says something on the internet or something happens that maybe, things are going to take a turn that is not going to be very beneficial for her. I don't see that is a scandal, but we do have the card of the Five of Swords that is says defeat. So, uh, any sort. So for me, it's like it could be something meaningful, but she says something, and somehow, it could be the internet, that sometimes people flip on you. People choose, change their minds about you. They used to adore you, and now because you spoke your truth, or you said something, you make a remark about someone online, or you just said something, or, I don't know. It feels just very like random. The queen of, not the queen, the Wheel of Fortune, it seems like it's something very rapid, something that, oh, I said this, or I said this comment, and whoop, and everything changed, So yeah, it feels like this. It feels like this. It feels very, like, I think that around her and maybe this guy, there's like a strong connection. There's like passion. Maybe fans are passionate, or maybe, fans are passionate about her. But somehow she may, make a comment that the audience is not really ready to hear from her. Or maybe it's in a statement, maybe because somehow the Queen of Swords is giving her back to this beginning, or this thing that she's participating on. And maybe she says something that it takes people off guard, like it makes people question, like, what do you mean? What did you mean with that you said? We thought that you were happy, or we thought that you were successful. So yeah, with the Five of Swords defeat, I think that in here it shows you maybe how fragile sometimes fame is, because maybe a person, a famous person online says something. Maybe it gets taken out of context, or people just don't like the way you said it, or, and I think that for her, it's something that the Queen of Swords is someone that, yeah, they don't hold back. Is very, I don't want to say like she's opinionated, but there's something about her saying what is on her mind. It's not that she's being insensitive. It's just that, maybe, and also she's very intelligent. She has a voice, she has a clarity, or maybe she has a way of talking that is like, yeah, I see this, but I don't know. I think that it kind of makes, because I see this, and I'm like, it could be like a sort of rebellious act coming from her. I think that there's something, because she's turning back. She's turning her back to, whatever is happening here. So maybe she wants to change her trajectory, or there's something about her wanting to change the way people view her success, or she's associated with someone. She's like, well, I wish you guys, would focus more on me, or I wish you guys, would start seeing other things that I'm doing. It seems like she wants a change, and probably, maybe people are not ready to have it, are not ready to see her maybe in another role, or see her in another relationship. I don't know. I think that her life is changing. Her circumstances are changing. Her mentality also has changed. Something happened, and maybe she shares it online, or she says something, and I think that this is going to, is going to somehow unleash, certain people not being happy about this. But yeah. Yes, thank you guys. It was great today. Thank you, Fluffy. About the new jeans situation, because I also been following also. I think that is maybe we can read for her next year, but I think that the reading that I did for them for 2025, maybe I believe I did an update on them as well when they changed the name. I think that in there's everything. Is I think that when it comes to these lawsuits, when I read for EXO CBX, it was the same, that I saw that, yeah, there's something about them somehow having to, it's about them. I don't think that for them it was like, oh my God, I cannot believe it. But there's something about these companies or maybe the system or the law, trying to wear them down. It's like, oh, I want you to get tired. Yeah, like keep suing us. Yeah, keep going, but you're not going to win. I think that with these big corporations, and what I know and what I saw in the cards, when I read for them, I believe I read for them last year, last year. It was a last year reading. But I said that they were going to be very stubborn about this. Very stubborn. It's not about the result. It's about what the girls want. And the girls don't want to go back there. So, for me, it's about respecting their energy. It's about respecting what the girls want. I think that the girls are not going to, this is what I got, that they are very much fixated on their, that's what I got a couple of months ago. And I think that that hasn't changed, that hasn't changed. It's just that if they don't want to go back in there, for me, energetically, honestly, not just energetically, but I think that there's something that when I read for them, because I also don't want to, because I love the girls, I miss New Jeans, honestly, like I wish they could come back. But from what I remember from that reading is that they don't want to, and I'm like, for these girls to be like, we don't want to go back there. We prefer to end this. To end our careers, but we are not going back there. For them to say that, something there must be going on for them to be like this. I don't think that it's them being, difficult. I think that they have the reasons, and I'm like, we have to accept them, and if they come back, great. We are always waiting. I think that, the people that love the girls, we're always waiting to hear from them. But the industry and the system is very much ruled by a few, that they also are unflexible, they also are stubborn, and they also have their, their pettiness. So they are not going to let them win. So I don't know what possibilities they have. Unless someone magical appears that is not Mijijin, another kind of, I don't know, like how can I say this? Like protector, someone that is like, here, girls, this is the money. Here, I will pay. I don't know. I don't think so. But yeah, maybe we can wait a few months, maybe a month. Let's wait until this sort of energy, very sticky energy, dissipates. And once I start reading for the 2026 that I'm going to start in December, probably the end of November, I'm going to start reading for the groups for 2026. And we can add, of course, the girls in there. But now I feel it like it's not the time yet to pull cards again. Now I don't feel it like it. Because honestly, there's a lot of bad energy. I feel it, honestly. I feel like there's a lot of people, like mentally they're pushing for the girls to get the worst. And I think that they don't realize how, like, you can have your own point of view, but sometimes when you hold that sort of like mentality, you also make things move. And the mob mentality is dangerous. And at the end, it's their career. I think that this is why I'm like, we should respect, if the girls want to come back or if they don't want to come back, that's their career, their decision. Everything that happened, it has been about them and this other woman, and we weren't there. So, but yeah, maybe we have, we are this kind of part of the community that we are like, we just want the girls to be okay. But let's see what their okay is, like, let's see. But I think that when it comes to that part of the entertainment, from my experience of reading, for when certain scandals happen, when certain things happen, I always get this strong energy of these people are never going to change. There's things in the industry that are ruled by men, they are never going to change. And they keep working towards sustaining that same system. And the fans sustain that same system of a few win, a few get the chance. And if you want to win yourself, you have to be smart. You have to be really smart and play your cards well, I guess. But they are very young. So I think that they are sort of like battling with the monster, with a giant corporation that probably is not just about Hype. Probably there's other things also, that they are unreachable. They are untouchable. They know this. So at the end, it's not about the girls. It's about keeping the same system the way it is. It's like, let's keep it like this. You keep doing the same with CBX. Let's keep sustaining this like it always had been. No one complained. Why did you complain? Oh my God, like, no, stop it. Why do you complain? No one has complained. But, there has to be someone, there has to be someone. But yeah, since I'm, I don't know much about law, and I don't know about law over there. That's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like, there's certain figures in there that you're not going to touch. So if you want to consume, unfortunately, if you want to consume K-pop, you have to stay away from expecting certain social movements or changes that is not going to happen with the society that they have. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, and it's going to continue like this. So the only thing that you can do is somehow pray that your favorites don't go through that. But it is ruled by very powerful people, and it will continue being like this. It will continue being like this. Mm. Yeah. Yeah, but that man, that man didn't appear. That man didn't appear. Remember that I also said for K-pop that there was going to be a man. Remember that we were like speculating, is it G-Dragon? Is it, I don't know, a member of BTS? I don't know. Remember that I said that in K-pop there was going to be a man. It was going to be the one that was going to sort of make everything right in K-pop. I don't know, like not make everything right is so absolutist to say this, but he was going to be able to change something for the better. Maybe a law, something. But and we are in November, and I still haven't seen that man. The other day I was thinking about this. The other day I was thinking about that. I was like, where is that man? Because from what I've seen, like everything that is going to be going on in K-pop, I don't see anyone just, doing something remarkable for K-pop. Yeah, I don't know where is he. The new president. I don't know what is it. But we still have a few more months. Let's see if something happens. Because that man is very influential. There's one thing that I saw that, and I'm like, where is the other day I was thinking about that. Where is that man that I saw? But yeah, guys, let's be patient. Let's be patient, and like always, sending good vibes to all the artists, in that industry, because it's just tough. It's tough, to all the actors. There was an actor. Remember the actors, or the actor of I know him from no, it was Welcome to Waikiki. The actor that was in Marry My Husband, the funny guy that actually, in Marry My Husband is not supposed to be funny because he's like the bad guy. But since I know him from, Welcome to Waikiki, every time I see him, I'm like, I cannot help but to laugh because he's hilarious. And I read the other day, I was like, oh my God, another one? I was like, that he was accused, like someone came to somehow expose him, and they said that they had captures of him being inappropriate in conversations on a chat with them, and I was like, oh my God, not that guy. I thought that he was a good guy. Oh my God, like he was so funny. Like, and I was already like, I was reading the article, and I was, oh my God, no. And then, after, I believe it, like 4 days had passed or a week, and then another article came up, like somehow saying that the person that wanted to expose him, that it was a lie, that they said that they created this whole thing as a joke. I guess they created it with ChatGPT, the whole conversation, that it was made up. And I was like, what? So I don't know, guys. I guess we have to be extra careful about what we read. And I'm not a fan of this actor. I know about his work. I remember him. But you know, when you see like these articles and you're like, you somehow you don't even read the article. You read the like the headline. You're like, oh my, this happened. um and but you know, I'm sure that for him it must have been traumatized to see this, you know, and I'm sure that everyone online, you know, the netizens and everything, they starting also, you know, having their you know, their own perceptions about what happened, you know. Oh my god, he is this, oh, I knew he was like this, you know. It's tough. It's tough. Yes, it's tough. It's a tough world. So we have to get ready. We have to get ready. You know, I always tell you guys, like with my tarot, me with my tarot cards, you know, I always try to, you know, try to bring light or to bring somehow, you know, a message, whatever the cards have available. I always tell you, I always try to bring clarity with the cards. If I see something, I will say, yeah, I think I see something. If I don't see it, I will also state what I see. I will stay true to my interpretations, because it's a very dark and twisted world out there. So I don't want to sell fantasies, nor, you know, nor creating you a sort of storytelling. I want to see if in reality some things develop. This is why I always appreciate everyone's feedback, because I'm not perfect, but you know, every time I do a reading, I'm like, okay, this is not about this, is this accurate or not. I think that is about a correlation. You know, I have been here for a very long time. Um, so I think that there has to be a level of like, okay, how did I do? Um, and I'm always learning as well. You know, I can be wrong, of course, I can be wrong. Um, but one thing that I always try is not to be biased, because it's just that I read the tarot from a very young age. So you know, I know that every time I pull cards, I choose distance myself from. It's not that I'm putting my thought, my intention every time I pull the cards. No, it's a different and separate tactic. Um, but yeah, I always want to help, you know, and I hope to bring, you know, good news to the fans, because I know that fans worry. I know that the artists worry. But yeah, it's a risky business. It's not a happy, you know, sometimes it's happy, but most of the time it's challenging. So, and it seems like probably 2026 is going to be a busy year for a lot. So yeah, the competition is going to be high. So it seems. Mm, thank you. Thank you, Vanessa. Okay, guys, I have to go. I have to go and cook. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I'll see you on Wednesday, okay? Have a lovely week and less of the Sunday. Bye.